Welcome back. Section 2, Building a Serverless Application. In this section, things are going to get much more interesting. We're actually going to build and design a multi-tier serverless application. So we're going to build and test and deploy a middle tier of this application, build and integrate a data tier using cloud storage, and then we're going to complete the application with a web-based user interface. We're then going to deploy and test the whole application. So the first video, let's look at the application design. In this video, we're going to look at the requirements of the application. It's a simple contacts application for managing contacts. We're going to look at how to design the architecture for the application. It's a small application, but we still would like to have a proper design. We'll then select some cloud services that we're already familiar with earlier in the course, and then we'll try and understand the data flow behind the application. So what are the requirements? Well, we'd like to build a simple contacts management application so we can add names and phone numbers, add, update and delete contacts. We want to use serverless technology, of course, so cloud-based. We want to be able to easily deploy it and easily maintain it, gain the benefits of serverless technology that we've discussed already. So what type of architecture should we use? Well, multi-tier architecture has been used with many different types of technology, and it still applies to serverless technology. The application is designed in different tiers or layers, and each layer is responsible for different things. Typically we have a presentation layer for displaying data to the user and allowing the user to interact with the application. So this might be in a web browser. We then have a business layer. This is where the brain of the application would sit. There can be business rules, business models, whatever your application does, it would sit in this particular layer. And then we'd have typically a data layer where we can store data, retrieve data, persist data. So let's see how we could implement this type of architecture using serverless. So how can we implement this application using the different cloud services? Well, for the presentation layer, we can use Azure App Service and we could deploy JavaScript. For the business layer, for the middle tier, we could also use Azure App Service. This time we'll use .NET Core to implement a REST API so that we can communicate with this layer. And then finally, for the data layer, let's use Azure Table Storage. And again, this can expose a REST API and we'll use that to communicate with the data layer. So we'll have three totally independent layers of this application, and they can all be deployed easily into the cloud. Let's just have a quick look at how the different layers talk to each other. So we're using REST APIs, and each REST API will use HTTP protocol, and it will use a JSON format to actually transfer data between them. So that gives us a great overview of the design and architecture of our application. We've got a plan. We can now just get on and implement it.